And that is the community level. It's $450. I go faster than I can go with the slide here. So again, it is to focus at the community level to ensure family members and the rural community receive annual or twice a year services so that the whole community is healthy enough to contribute to the livelihood of a family and the productivity of the workforce. There are so many of our kids that end up in the shelter, or we actually sponsor them in the community because their parents are too ill, too sick, have cancer, or passed away so early because they didn't have the adequate health care or access to health care. So that's why the focus at the community level intervention is very important. The next level is more at the family level, where we go into full community and work with our local partners. We have staff that go out to these villages to do assessment and would come back with the information that, you know, most of the time it's single headed household, female ones, that we would want to encourage microfinancing to help the family to be stabilized, to stay in one single unit, so that to help the children stay in school, and also to encourage entrepreneurship among peasant farmers and small street vendors and shops. Most of these people would not have the credit through the normal banking system. So with $100 to $200 per family, it actually helped them tremendously to start a small business or to enhance their business as is. Anything from fishing to growing vegetables to cattle raising and so forth. And the next layer from the top, I call it population at risk. If we don't intervene, these individuals or children will be ending up on the street or drop out of school to either cattle keeping, shoe shining, selling lottery tickets on the streets to help their family meeting their end meet. So the educational program is where we also build school. So in many ways, it provides a safe haven for education, where education begins, and keep the children from the poor family in school. We believe education is the key to success, and that theme rings true for all of our projects, to make sure that the children stay in school and get their needed education. And for many times throughout the years, we have relatives, we have neighbors that would walk miles or bike on their bicycle with children, bring the children to shelter, asking us, begging us to take the children in the shelter because their parents passed away or their relatives don't have the capacity to raise the kids anymore. With these kids, we do assessment, and right now our shelter is actually reached its maximum capacity already. And so we continue to support these in the community by providing financial assistance so that they have the means to leave every month and that they stay in school. And Vocational Training Center, this is a huge project, and it's a collaboration between Friends of Peer Foundation and East Meets West Foundation. We jointly built a great, nice vocational training center, and its grand opening was beginning of 2007. And mid of 2007, we opened classes in English language, and our English language class is actually staffed by English-speaking instructors from the U.S. Through our partner volunteer in Asia, and it's been a 2 years relationship now where they provide English instructor and they staff these classes for up to a year. So we like to be able to equip children from the shelter. For those that would not have no matter how much investment we put into them, they would never be able to follow the academic track. So to make sure that they equip with vocational or trade skills so that they can get better jobs, stable jobs, and especially when they reach adulthood. The children's shelter, as Betty alluded to earlier, is the door was open to first 13 kids back in 2003. Now we have 40 kids, and 10 of them already graduated from the shelter, and no kid could ever leave the shelter unless they have a stable job and a stable life. So we literally try to provide ample opportunities for the children to make sure that they, when they step out of the shelter door, they have a good life and a better future. We invest in their education, we assess their nutrition, and we have this past summer we have Hanjun from Stanford University who have gone back and actually do assessment and teach the kids how to do gardening and canning food. And another level at the top of the mountain would be the victim level, or I say because of disaster, natural disaster, or many times we call emergency response program. We have launched at least 9 different emergency relief efforts because in central Vietnam, every year it gets flooded and the severity range from light to very severe. I was just talking to staff yesterday. It's actually stormy there, and I couldn't talk long with them because they have to get the shelter, be prepared that the flood might come through the door at any moment. So for us, it's very important that we have the capacity to respond quickly, respond timely, so that we can help to alleviate the suffering and injuries to the victims and to the areas affected by the natural disasters, and provide needed relief, and also conduct assessment for future long-term assistance. But you know, we have natural disaster all the time, but again, there's emergency cases that are presented to us pretty much monthly of individual in the community that need help. Most of the time it's medical or social. So for this past year, we have at least a handful of cases with cerebral palsy where the mother couldn't find a job because she has to be home taking care of her child, or Mrs. Nhien. She's 48 years old, has end-stage diabetes. She's been diagnosed for diabetes for at least more than a year, but have no money to pay for the medication. Right now, we collaborate with Fetzer, another partner of ours, to sponsor her medication, $60 US dollars a month. That's a lot of money. For these families, their income is like $20 per month, so like $250 a year. And for having to put out a bill of $60 is a lot of money. And like Betty had said earlier, corrective surgery program is a long-running program of Friends of Huế Foundation, and we expand to focus on open heart surgery, and this is a project to collaborating with East Meets West Foundation, and we want to make sure that, you know, any child would be given a better future and a normal life if they, you know, they have conditions that need to be corrected, or a better heart, a better hope, and a better life. So that pretty much concludes my presentation very quickly about the various intervention and project of Friends of Huế Foundation. You don't know how much effort to go into this organization and implementing our various programs and evaluating them. And all of it made possible because of the many kind sponsors and donors who have financially contributed to the recipients and the program for years, since 1999 to now. And it takes a lot of effort to pull an event like this together. And the one purpose for putting the effort out to do this is that for us to keep in touch with you all, to maintain that relationship on behalf of our children, and be the voice for the children and the recipients that we serve in Vietnam. So thank you to all the sponsors and to the donors. And we also thank you the countless volunteers that have participated in programs in Vietnam as well here in the USA. In the USA, it's very much about fundraising and education and marketing, but in Vietnam, it's pretty much, you know, roll up your sleeve and at times your pants to get out there and do the dirty work over there. And I also in Asia